sounded just like an amazing opportunity, one that doesn't come up that much for writers. And I think I'm the first kind of non-visual artist they've had here, and they'd wanted to kind of branch out into poetry. But the idea of being able to work with space is really exciting, having this studio for 6 months and being able to kind of make enormous texts and experiment with kind of how I present the poetry. Just automatically being here makes me feel like I want to get something really great done.
Part of our residency proposal was to make a body of work which is inspired by the collection. So basically the new work that you see on this wall and on that wall is inspired by the miniature paintings here in the galleries. Okay, well, have a look around.
It's quite different from what I've seen of your work before and work that's already in the V&A collection, because the scale is so different, it's so intimate. It's kind of interesting to me also that you're not particularly looking at photographs in the collections, but other things to inform photography.
A repeated pattern, each piece a themed seal for keeping in feeling, measured to the end of trying and no edges to push off from. People come in, sometimes they're not even here to see me, they're here to see the photography, but they'll stop off and they'll say like, I don't know anything about poetry, tell me something about poetry. Working with the public has been a really kind of new thing for me, because writing is quite often in isolation, and when people come in contact with your work, it's because they've chosen to buy your book, and it's made me reconsider how I think about my own work, because I've had to talk about it in a different way to a kind of non-specialist audience. Another really nice thing about this residency is that there are kind of two practitioners next door to each other who, you know, working in very different mediums. I'm a poet and Bettina next door is a photographer.
I call it Sophia, this project. It's a kind of experiment. I'm not even sure if it's going to work or not, because it's something I haven't done before. I've never photographed a person over a period of time.
What kind of dialogue is there between you and the person that you're photographing?
We start off as complete strangers, but already sort of 9 weeks into the project, we're not strangers anymore.
Well, I've got an interest in photography, but I lost interest in people until I met Bettina, and now I'm going back to taking photographs of people.
So you've been looking at photographing this lady in the same place every day, or
3 times a week.
And do you do it at the same time of day, the light?
Yeah,
changes?
we meet in the morning before she starts her shift.
This program has brought out the creative side in me. Sometimes you put things on the shelf, and after starting this project, I'm taking some things that I'd put on the shelf, back off the shelf, and yeah, letting my creative side come out.
My initial proposals were to do with specific collections, and there were definitely things that I wanted, specific objects and collections I wanted to work with. But once I got here, I became increasingly interested in the kind of structure of the museum. So I'm not really working with specific collections anymore. I'm kind of responding more organically to the idea of the museum as a whole, and trying to recreate the museum in the form of little poems.
I definitely have settled in, yeah. I can't actually imagine ever leaving. The problem. I've connected with so many parts of the museum and so many people, and I just really feel part of it. Part of my job is to engage with diverse audiences. So I've been involved in a workshop with autistic school children. I'm going to be doing a workshop with partially sighted visitors of the museum, and I'm going to run it together with a partially sighted photographer.
With years to still heal purple bruises at the soft joints of her, and she is variously showing me all of this, and the sun is at the window of the room, and of the soft edges of this body I wish to tidy. My most recent book, She, is exploring the kind of the figure of the lesbian in culture. So whilst some of it's autobiographical, there's a lot of research that goes into it, and that's something really useful that I've been able to carry over into my work at the V&A. I suppose my approach to my project, because it's so organic, I'm kind of like trying to go with the surprises and roll with it. So and let the people that I meet and the objects I encounter here kind of guide the project. So I'm trying to be open to the surprises.